Hey math students! Today we are going to learn how to find the axis of symmetry algebraically. So far, you already know how to find it looking at the graph. It's the vertical line that cuts the parabola in half and passes through the vertex. And the equation is just the number on the x-axis that it passes through. So here it's -1. But we have to answer the question, how do we find the axis of symmetry without the graph, doing it algebraically? In order for us to find the axis of symmetry algebraically, our equation has to be in standard form. That is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. If we look at the equation on the graph that we have already, it is in standard form. We need it to be in standard form so that we can identify the a and b values. So let's write down that first step, which is to find the a and b values of the function. Pause the video here so you can copy down those notes. Let's do step 1 using this equation right here on our graph. It's y equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now, the a value is always in front of the x squared. It can be positive or it can be negative. And the b value is always in front of the variable x, and it can also be positive or negative. So here we actually don't see a number in front of x squared, but that doesn't mean that there isn't an a value. What number is technically in front of x squared, but we don't ever actually write it in? 1. There's an invisible 1 there. So now how about our b value? Our b value is 2, because it's the number in front of x. So now we have both our a and our b value. Make sure to write the a and the b values down in your notes. So pause here if you need to. Now that we have our a and our b values, a equals 1 and b equals 2, we want to actually use them. Remember, our goal is to find the axis of symmetry algebraically. In order to do that, we're going to have to use the equation for the axis of symmetry. The equation for the axis of symmetry is x equals -b all over 2 times a. Make sure to put parentheses around the b and the parentheses around the a because we're going to be substituting our a and our b value. Take a moment now to copy down this equation for the axis of symmetry. I'm going to label it AOS. That's just an abbreviation for axis of symmetry. Before we actually do the second step, let's write down what that step is so you can have it for your notes, which is to sub the a and b values into x equals -b over 2a. So pause the video, copy that down, and then we're going to actually do step 2. So step 2, we're substituting our a and our b values into x equals -b over 2a. Don't forget that this over here is happening a negative. Don't forget the negative. You'll get the wrong x value if you don't use the negative. So it's negative and our b is 2. So let's substitute in 2. All over 2, which is always part of the axis of symmetry equation, times a, and our a is 1. So negative times 2 is -2, and 2 times 1 is 2. -2 divided by 2, what does that equal? -2 divided by 2 equals -1. So So our axis of symmetry is x equals -1. Woohoo! You just found the axis of symmetry algebraically. Before, you knew how to find it on the graph. Let's just double check to see that we got the right answer by looking at the original graph. And look at that, it was x equals -1. So the axis of symmetry for y equals x squared plus 2x plus 1 cuts the parabola in half and passes through the vertex at x equals -1. Before you exit out of this video, make sure to have all the notes copied down for how to find the axis of symmetry algebraically. Make sure to practice, and thanks for watching.